Quick update, we're now 255 wins and 50 losses. Today I want to talk about the greatest legendary in this game, and the best part is, he's free. Yes, I'm talking about Marius, the Wonder Horse. You know what I say, up against a stacked Mythical team, but I got Marius on my side. I like those odds. Before I really get into the build, the philosophy and reasoning, it's best we take a look at just a couple clips featuring the Wonder Horse, right? Then we can really truly appreciate why I say this is one of the best all-around Marius builds out there. So let me just pull up the video here. So in this first clip, it's a little bit, getting my ass kicked, but we will see about that. Like, this team is just stacked, right? Crazy empowerment, crazy blessing. So I banned the Shujin, I think. Yeah, and he bans the Armans. Yeah, so we get into this fight. Over here, no stone skin, but definitely fast, right? The Galathier is maybe 450-ish, so very, very fast. He's going to boost. No, he's going to transform immediately and lock my Fabian, because he doesn't want me to do the lockout on his team. This is the correct move. Yeah, so now my Fabian can't do anything. A1 here. A1 here. Attack. So far it's looking okay. Now this is where it gets tricky, right? Look at the Marius. Look at what buff the Marius got. Stormcaller, right? He's got a Stormcaller. Now, usually, if I'm in this situation against a normal Marius, like just a regular Marius, this is the comfort zone, right? Maria and Empress both under Stone Skin. He's going to do the triple smack. And I think we need to really slow it down here. I'm going to do like 0.5 speed just to see. Marius got a counterattack off, so he has 4 stacks already on the Stormcall. Let's see what happens here. He does the A3. I'm going to do even slower. Okay. And then he's going to do the A2. First hit triggers the Stormcall, right? Puts everybody irresistible stun. And Maria is just getting the stone skin stripped. Didn't get the stun. Second hit, he gets 4 stacks of Stormcall again. Third hit, he triggers an irresistible stun on my full team again. This time my wand of submission triggered, which reflected back a stun. But my Maria is stunned as well. Like, in one skill, he triggered 2 rounds of, not on one person, on everybody, full team, irresistible stun in one skill. Like, how good is that? That's off of that Stormcaller relic, right? The Mythical relic. So yeah, if that wasn't the case, like against these champions with Maria and Empress, like, we're in our comfort zone, right? Nope. Marius is here to ruin the day with the Stormcaller. He even does the block revive. And I think we can speed this up. I'm not going to take another turn, right? Block passive, so no more protection, and one shot, right? In this fight, I'm trying to identify the key targets here. I think I go for the HP burn, right? Because this team has a great synergy between these two champions, and they want to basically strip all the stone skin off everybody, and then the Gizmak is going to do a smack. Like, it kind of looks like it's just one damage dealer, but these two both do a lot of damage with the incinerate, and he's got a big smack, single target, but still. And then these two offers a great amount of control, right? So I can't really afford to ban the Gizmak, so I go for the Sulfurion ban. Yeah, I go for the Sulfurion ban. I think so. Yeah, I thought about banning the Gizmak, didn't go for it. He bans the Cadillacs, right? So let's get into this match. Okay. And in this match here, okay. Of course, I go first because I low. I take out the Sifi. I do the lockout. I don't get a weak hit on Armans, crucially. I did weak hit on that Gizmak, but I don't think that matters too much to me. So Armans here can't sheep my Marius, right? That's the most important thing. A1, the Ilil does get increased skill cooldown. It's fine. Odin only has A1. I'm looking at the amount of sheeps. There's a lot. So I'm scared to use the Marius A3, is what I'm saying. He actually opted to strip all the stone skin. He doesn't want to transform here. I mean, also makes sense, right? His Odin didn't put up the block damage yet. So here I absolutely do not want to use A3. I could get sheeped. The A3 targets the highest turn meter champion on the enemy team, Marius A3. And right now the highest turn meter champion is the Armans, who does have a high polymorph blessing, right? It's just not worth it. So I just go straight for the A2. And Soul Reap, right? The Reaper killed. So rematch, exact same opponent. I'm doing the exact same team, I would think. Exact same opponent, I'm doing the same team. This time around, oh no, I don't do the Cavalax. I actually, what I did was I went with the Arbiter, because I feel like this time he actually picked two nukers, right? Embrace and Gizmak. And that means he's a little bit lacking on the speed side versus the last match where he had the Sulfurion. And if I ban his fastest champion, which probably is the CV, I could really dominate on the speed aspect, which is why I last picked the Arbiter. And my opponent is now thinking, why did I last pick the Arbiter? With the 6-star Intimidating Presence, I'm gonna speed boost. It's gonna be a bad time for him, so he bans the Arbiter, right? That's the change factor. And this time around, because he didn't pick Sulfurion, I banned the Sifi. So we get into this match. With Ilo, you ideally want to get rid of their Reviver, especially a really good Reviver with a lot of turn meter, like when they revive, like Sifi, 100% turn meter. So I got rid of Sifi. Now the only reviver is Odin, right? And out of these champions, the biggest threat for me is Armans. If I can take out the Armans, my Fabian will probably go next, and I can lock out the rest of his champion. So I go for the Armans kill. I go for the Fabian lockout. Got resisted there, but I did get the lockout, so that's what matters. Here he transforms. I counterattack. Does the big smack, and because he killed the target Gizmak, he gets extra turn, right? And he's gonna put that skill that's unkillable on himself, which usually is a big problem, is a taunt and unkillable. However, because I'm running Ilil and I save my A1 whenever I face Gizmak, when he does that, okay, back a little bit. Look at my Marius, the buffs here. I've got a Stormcaller this time. The tables have turned, and right here I'm approaching the 5 stacks. As soon as this Embrace transforms and I hit everybody, I hit the 5 stacks. Right, I hit the 5 stacks. It triggers the Stormcall passive. Like, I think Odin was the 5th stack, and then the rest of his team got the irresistible stun, right? Just from that Marius counterattack, and I put Enfeeble on his team just for good measure, and my Soul Reap procced, which is supposed to do an irresistible fear, but he's got Wand of Submission on his Gizmak, so it reflected back. But I still had Stone Skin, so it did nothing. And now his Odin puts up the block damage, but my A2 on Marius is decreased buff duration, right? So it's a really, really good counter versus Odin block damage. Do the triple smack, and that's it for this match. Yeah. So last one here, I'm looking at the team. It's got a Commodus, and I don't have any really good Commodus counter, so I must ban the Commodus. The opponent is running Fabian, really annoying, but I do have a Crexia. Now, most Fabian players will probably ban the Crexia because Crexia does counter the Fabian. You can transform and then reset everybody's skill, but it's not like a big deal in this team because I'm running triple nukers. I'm against Galathier, Marishka, and Nice, right? All of these champions just non-stop revive. 2 nukers is not going to cut it, especially if he bans one of my nukers. So I'm running triple nukers. And yeah, so in this case, I think he bans the Crexia, which counters the Fabian, right? But those nukers, like, even if they're locked out, they can be quite effective, as we will see here. So they boost with the Galathier, and this is a high rating player, right? Pretty stacked team. The Fabian is going to do the lockout. I'm hoping for the 35% weak hit on the Armans. I don't get it, right? They're all locked out. Except for Embrace got a 3% resist, but I don't care if Embrace first form gets resisted or not, right? I want to go to the second form. The Galathier is so fast, it actually went again. Crazy. Nice. Here does the block revive. Not the highest value for that skill, right? Because I don't have any revivers. So like if you just do the AoE, if the Armans dies, he's never coming back. It's the same as block revive. So over here I'm trying to fish for extra turn. Go for the Fabian. I don't get extra turn. Unlucky. Here the Fabian wants to do the petrification, but both of the other 2 champions are in stone skin. Maybe he wants to save it. So goes for the A1, which puts the fear on the Maria, because Maria's turn meter is really close to 0. Once Fabian lowers someone's turn meter to 0, he will put a true fear on that champion, right? And because he put that true fear on that champion, my Marius mastery triggered from the defense tree, and I do a counterattack, killed the Fabian there. And then, so the Marius, even if locked out, is having great value here. Embrace transform, and here I don't do anything fancy. I just A1 the Marishka. We block revive the Marishka against these super just tons of revive champions. If you get the opportunity to block revive, don't use the other skill to damage them. Just block revive. And then now that Marishka is never coming back, right? Here I just have the A1, so I have to use it. I triggered the Nice passive, so Nice doesn't die to this. He transforms. When he transforms, it triggers my Marius passive again, and I counterattack a 3rd time, right? It's almost like a triple hit, but just from the passive of Marius. Doesn't kill anybody because, Nice is balanced and Galathier is balanced. They both have passive that save themselves, right? So the damage from this doesn't kill, but I have a 6-star Soul Reap blessing. Look at the Reapers here come in, and boom, ignore defense hits on both Nice and the Galathier, and we take both of them out, right? So that was a really tough team. It's like a whack-a-mole type of team with tons of revives, tons of control, lockout, and we were able to take them out even when we were locked out, and that's hugely thanks to our Marius pick, right? So Marius' importance cannot be understated. So let's get back to where are we here? Let's get back to the Marius build, right? That's what we're really trying to get to. Where is that Marius? There he is. So for the horse, first let's just take a look at the gear sets. Very standard nuker, right? Gear, 4-piece stone skin, 4-piece lethal. Lethal is just there because, you know, gives you ignore defense. You want to do damage to these tanky champions, Galathier, Marishka, nice. You want to be able to take them down, Empress, and you need this ignore defense to effectively take them down, right? And then stone skin is at the beginning, just, you know, so you don't get hard CC, you don't get Terminator manipulation, which you can't Terminator manipulation against Marius anyways. He's great like that. He's passive for visit. But yeah, like just random things, or even like if they go first and they have like a big damage, maybe a Sigrun big smack, you got a stone skin to protect you, right? So yeah, sets stone skin lethal. In terms of stats, Marius has slightly lower HP, and a lot of times you whether it's a siege condition or Volcardic Heart, you run, or even like some of the champions like the chicken, within their skill set they will have some reflect damage, and you want to have some HP, right, on Marius. So like above 50k I think is a good amount. Attack doesn't matter because Marius is a defense based champion. Defense, this is the stat you want as high as possible. Have 8.4k here. Speed, now I've got clanmates with like 360, approaching 400 speed Marius, right? They're using their Marius like in like a slightly different role than I am. My Marius is my main damage dealer, is the one that I want to smack the Mythicals with, the tanky champions, and I need him to do that. I don't want him too fast because then I get no value from the stone skin. If you're super fast, like almost approaching 400, you're better off with like a Mercurial set, right? I want to get some value off this stone skin, so I don't want him too fast, but I do want him to be sort of fast. So that he can still, like, you know, strip enemy buffs. He can still do his disruption and damage, right? So 260 is what I have. Of course, 100% crit because we want consistency. 370 crit damage. Resistance doesn't matter too much. And I do want some accuracy, right? Ideally, like above 300, because we want to be able to... because Marius also has that skill that has increased accuracy, so he will gain a lot of accuracy himself, 50%. We want to be able to like stun the and do the decreased buff duration at least on the enemy nukers and enemy disruptors, right? Maybe not on the tanky revivers, but this is enough to do a lot of the job as Marius. So those are the stats, and this is what makes the build awesome. We saw that in the clips, why this is so good. Just want to show the Stormcaller buff, and if you guys don't know, you can look at all the buffs and debuffs. It's right here. You go to any skill, right? You click more info, and then that brings up the screen, and it has a list of all the buffs and debuffs. I think the Stormcaller buff is at the end, is one of the slightly newer buffs. Stormcaller. Each Stormcaller stack increases the damage dealt by the champion by 5%. So just this alone is great, right? Like you can get 5 stacks. And previously I had Cascades on Marius. And of course Cascades is gonna do more damage, even up front. But what I noticed is if you're stacking enough Stormcalls near the end, it's very comparable to Cascades. So you're not losing too much damage by using Stormcaller. The number of stacks increased by 1 each time the champion with a Stormcaller lands a critical hit. We have 100% critical hit, so we're always going to increase the stacks, right? And this Stormcaller is best on champions who have AoE hits, right, on all their skills. I'm talking about like the Crow Cat, talking about that... Mythical Geralt or something. They all have, like, they are great users of Stormcaller, but Marius especially because Marius are, not only all his skills are AoE, he's got a triple hit AoE, right? So he's gonna stack up the Stormcalls like crazy. A champion can have maximum of 5 Stormcall stacks at one time. When attacking with 5 Stormcall stacks, place a stun debuff on the target and removes all Stormcall stacks. The stun debuff cannot be resisted. So this is fantastic versus those like really high resistance build tanky champions that normally you just can't touch them, right? Talking about those like annoying Marishkas, like what are you gonna do? But with this, you can actually stun them, and it's irresistible. Like, how good is that? So Stormcall, fantastic. I think they made this relic specifically for Marius. And if you've seen one of my earlier videos, I was complaining about how I don't pull a single mythical relic off of like 7 live arena seasons. And then I started crafting relics, and I pulled this one. Oh my gosh. First relic, I went to plus 18, right? I crunched all my other relics just to make this one plus 18. Completely worth it, right? Because when you level it up, the chance of getting Stormcall goes up to 100% when you land a critical hit, and you're always landing critical hits. So yeah, 100% to put Stormcall on yourself, and you get 40% extra crit damage and 6 extra speed. The attack stat is wasted, but you know, you can't have everything. And then in terms of the gemstones, this is where the build gets really interesting, right? Because a lot of Mariuses, what I've seen is they like to go to the support tree and pick that master hexer, right? So that they can put 2 turn enfeeble on an enemy champion, and that could really mess up maybe an Empress or someone that really wants to hit you after they transform, but they just can't get rid of the enfeeble buff. They generally have 1 extra turn and they can get rid of 1, but they can't get rid of the other. I don't like that build. Doesn't do as much damage. This build is all about damage, and here's why. This mythical gemstone called Sharpened Riposte, the wearer deals 50% more damage when counterattacking. This is the bread and butter of Marius, because Marius is counterattacking all the time. Every time they try to decrease their turn meter, every time they are trying to switch forms, and also their synergy, we're going to talk about that with the masteries as well. So Marius is attacking all the time, and this gemstone is the reason why this build is so good. It just makes your counterattack deal 50% more damage. That's huge. The amount of Mythicals, like they just transform, the amount of like Empress, Gizmak that just transform, and then I one-shot them 100 to 0, countless times, right? Because of this mythical gemstone. This one here is great. You got an 8% chance to get an extra turn after a kill. And then these two, they do stack. If you kill an enemy, if you have 2, you will instantly get your damage increased by 20%, but the maximum cap is still at 30, right? So if you kill 2, it's not going to go to 40, it's still at 30, but it just stacks up faster. Bloodthirsty prowess. So yeah, just more ways to give him extra turn, give him more damage, right? And Stormcaller makes Marius not only does a ton of damage, but also gives him utility. He can stun the whole team. Irresistible stun, as we've seen in the first clip. Blessing. Soul Reap. I think Soul Reap is the best live arena blessing, and the reason is because right now meta, a lot of Nice, a lot of Sigrun, a lot of Galathier, right? All these annoying champions with their passive that cheat death. They just don't die. You can't kill them, right? And the Soul Reap will trigger on these champions, as we've seen in the clips. And the Soul Reap actually comes in with a ignore defense slash that will just execute, right? And it's excellent versus Nice, excellent versus Sigrun. The amount of Sigrun that have one shot and never trigger their passive, just, you know, one attack, get them low, the Soul Reap comes in and slashes them. It bypasses Sigrun passive. His passive won't put up the 2-turn block damage and won't protect them, right? And then you just one-shot them. So this blessing is fantastic for PvP and PvE. Like, I use this one for Spider. I use my Marius to farm Spider hard 10. Like, if we can just go over there and just do a quick run here. Spider, it doesn't really matter. We go in here, we go into a Spider run. Like, Soul Reap actually is good for PvE as well, because it makes the run so much faster. Like here, I have Marius and 4 food. We kill all the spiders. Big Spider does his attack. It's gonna trigger a counterattack. I don't even have any life steal or anything. This Marius arena build is perfectly fine, right? Like you see there, slightly not enough damage to kill some of the spiders. Soul Reap did the job, right? And then, okay, this is actually a slightly unlucky run, but here, okay, 8 turns. I've done this as low as 3 turns with Marius, right? When all the things line up. It's just, you can do things like farm the hardest stage with all food, with 1 champion. Soul Reap enables that, right? So that is why Marius is great. And then over here, so we talk about the blessing. Finally, the masteries. Is there anything super noteworthy? Like nukers, you're always going for Helm Smasher. I think this skill is great, Cycle of Violence. This one's great, bring it down, more damage to enemies with higher maximum HP. You're always hitting like those tanky, higher HP targets, right? I think Heart of Glory is good. You're pretty much, if you're playing right, your Marius is at full HP. This one could also work, Shield Breaker. But the bread and butter, the most important one, is not to go down the support tree and do the max hexer. No. We want more damage. We want more counterattacks. These 2, right? Retribution and Deterrence. You want these 2 masteries to be able to trigger more counterattacks because your whole build is around that. Sharpen Repulse, the triangle mythical gem. This one gives you a chance when you lose 25% max HP. This one give you a chance when they apply any of the hard CC to any ally, right? So yeah, that's Marius there for you. And this is why I think Marius is one of the best champions. He can be #1 in PvP, taking down all these mythicals, all these meta mythicals. Very effective versus Sigrun, Nice, Galathier, and a lot, and can be like the best at speed farming, like the PvE content, right? Like Spider, he's got triple max HP, does really well in like Hydra as well. So yeah, Marius, really good, guys. Start grinding if you haven't gotten the Marius already. And when you do get it, save the soul essences to buy the blessing, right? You want 6-star blessing on your Marius above any other champion. Just save all the essences for Marius. Okay, I'm gonna continue with the live arena session and look at some of the other matches. So here, this match, I think we must identify what is the key target. They have triple nukers. Cernic is sort of a nuker, like he does damage, right? In this situation, you don't want to ban any of the nukers. You want to ban one of the supports. And when you see a duel like Noel and Cernic, most of the time, the correct choice is to ban the support of the duel. So especially in this case, Noel's got the speed aura and the 6-star intimidating presence. If Noel is really fast, she can put that heal thing on Cernic, and Cernic is gonna put the unkillable on everybody, and he has the protection, 9-piece protection build is super omega annoying, right? So we get rid of Noel. Yeah, have to identify the key target. Now I'm looking at that champion. I don't even remember the name. You don't see that champion a lot, but if he's under a shield placed by himself, you can crit on him, and he can be really, really tanky. Even if he's locked out, is a pain, right? So I go first here. You can one-shot a Galathier. I'm looking, and I was going to go for the one-shot on Embrace, but nobody has Stone Skin. Like, this is so rare that, so I guess very confident he's going to go first with the Noel. But this is why you have to identify the key target to ban, right? We get rid of the Noel, and then now I can do the A3 open on Aileo, which does the block buffs, right? We take out the Cernic, and then we do Lockout, and then we do Steel Terminator. I don't even go for the Sheep here, because let's be honest, the Galathier is going to cleanse them, right? He's not going to do the revive. That's the wrong move, I think. He's going to cleanse them. Yeah. So now I do, I hit a reaction. I think maybe this one is a triple reaction build. That's why it's not in Stone Skin. Wouldn't recommend it, right? Because triple reaction doesn't protect you from all these CC and Terminator steel that you just saw. So here I can't do the A2 petrification because they all have block debuffs. And a lot of Embrace will have Wand of Submission. I mean, let's be honest, the other champion might also have it, but I just went with the sheep on the other champion. I took a look. I think my Aileo is slightly faster, but his Galathier is even faster. Now he's going to do the revive, I think. When you do a revive with the Fabian on the enemy team, he's going to put a True Fear. And here, I know I'm not going to petrify the Galathier, but I did the A2 anyways. The reason is because when I do the A2, right, it's going to try to petrify the initial target, but it's also going to put a True Fear on everybody else. And why that is important is because the Embrace doesn't have the block debuffs anymore, and I really want the True Fear on him. Because every time he takes a successful turn, like let's say the True Fear doesn't proc on him, he win the 50-50, and he transforms to the second form. Because he's successfully taken a turn, then my Fabian will be able to counterattack him with another petrification. So this is why Fabian actually sort of counters Mythicals if you're able to put a fear on them before they transform, right? So when they transform, see, I'm pointing the two True Fears. He does win the 50-50, he transforms, and now my Fabian is supposed to counterattack, right? Now, crucially, he does have Wand of Submission on the other champion. It reflected True Fear back to me, and I lose the 50-50. So, yeah, unlucky. So now Embrace is thinking, he still has a True Fear. So he's thinking his best bet is do the AoE, but I don't know if he wants to waste that ability. If he's really concerned, I would do the HP swap thing first. If I win the 50-50, then I can do the AoE for sure. And if I lose the 50-50, I was going to lose it anyways. I just get no turn, right? So I would have done the HP swap. Let's see what he does here. He does the HP swap, which triggers my counterattack. This time, I don't get unlucky. I actually do what I'm supposed to do, and I counterattack him and petrify him. This is why Fabian actually sort of counters Mythicals if you can put the fear on them first, right? His mastery triggered, so now he has a one-turn block debuffs, right? That's actually pretty important, because what I wanted to do was use A3 on Aileo to put block buffs, debuff on him, so that when I kill him, he's not going to put Revive Down Death on himself. But now he has that mastery. From the mastery, I can't one-shot him, and he will come back, right? So really bad for me. I do the A3 anyways. Don't do enough damage. This is good for me. If I do too much damage, the reflect might like really mess me up. So here I try to steal Terminator. I do on the other champion. That's one of those monster hunter special champions. Yeah, you don't see them a lot because that one you can't even pull anymore. Limited edition, right? Special time. Here I go for the A1. I'm thinking who to go for, and I think I go for the Empress, right? No, I go for the Galathier, try to proc his passive, and I protect the Fabian. Now I go for the Empress. Ileo is great into Empress because when you hit him, he puts the when it's gonna kill him, he puts the Revive on Death on himself, and if it's the first time you A1 him, you're gonna steal that Revive on Death, right? So he actually doesn't come back. Fantastic. Here, of course, I don't get the lockout because resistance Galathier. Galathier's cooldowns are so short. He revives everybody. Damage Fabian, I crit, of course. Here I can't hit the Empress. I really want to, but if I do the A2 on Empress, the interaction is you don't get the stone skin first. You do the damage first, and then Empress is gonna die first, and he's gonna reflect damage first, and then if it doesn't kill you, you get a stone skin. That's the special interaction with Ileo. So you absolutely cannot do the A2 on Empress. You might think you can get a stone skin and heal back to full. No, you cannot. You will die. So my only choice here is to, and the other guys has a shield, right? So I'm not gonna be able to crit on him. So my only choice is to hit the Sir Nicholas as the target between the three, get a stone skin, and then on the next turn, because I have stone skin, I'm not scared of reflect damage anymore. I will be able to actually target the Empress. So I killed the Sir Nick. I sheeped that champion again, and he's got that true fear, right? So I'm hoping he procs the 50-50. He does. Fantastic. He procs, I think that's the mastery, right? Removes the debuff on himself. So the fear is gone. oh yeah, he's got the blessing, sorry. He's got a Chainbreaker blessing. I went to the info to check what is going on because my Necrit didn't do 25% of his HP. Why would he remove one of the debuffs? That's a true fear. It's Chainbreaker. So he goes in for the block revive. Now he really wants to target my Ileo. That's his best target, but he's locked out, and Ileo's under stone skin, so he went with the second best option, which is Armans. And now my Ileo can hit the Empress, right? Because I have stone skin. The reflect is not gonna kill me. I go for the AoE. I fear him. Lockout. Petrify. Yeah. And kill, right? So that was a long match. I think the other player thinks maybe Ileo doesn't have enough damage against such a team, but Ileo does, and actually counters a lot of his champions. So, yeah. Here, speed team, a lot of control, and Georgid, who goes through like everything that Necrit does, all that protection, and go through Stone Skin. So very, very scary. Off these, I'm just trying to decide who to ban here. I think, what did I ended up going with? I ended up going with a Queen of Hearts because I had an inkling that he might ban the Necrit. If he does, and I do the buff on Sifi, which usually I don't mind the Queen of Hearts cutting in, right? Because I have 9 protection on Sifi. But this Queen of Hearts is not going to mind with the 9 protection. And the reason is because he's got Georgid, who has one of the best A1s. He's going to do the ally attack, and he's going to kill one of my targets. And I don't want that. So I ban the Queen of Hearts, right? And here I'm just hoping not all of his champions are under Firo or Stoneskin, so my Calvalax is not a wasted pick. Okay, so his Urbias is not, so I do get 1 champion, right? Supersonic on Fabian. I think I've said before, Supersonic is the best build. He cuts in, does a lockout. I A1 the Fabian. Fabian is dead. Here, the Georgette. What would I do on the Georgette? I will one-shot the Marius and then AoE everybody, right? Marius is already dead. And then you AoE everybody. Okay. My Marius don't die. I mean, I do have increased defense and 8.5k defense on Marius and 50k HP, but that's a Georgette. And that's a Georgette using his best ability, the one that go through Stoneskin. So he should have killed. I think both his passive and the Helm Smasher didn't proc. And because my Marius have such high defense and a little bit of HP, I actually survive, right? And the Soul Reap does nothing because I still have Stoneskin. So really unlucky for this player. I think I should have lost right there. Georgette one-shots the Marius and an AoE, right? And it's really hard for me to come back after that. But luck is on my side. He transforms with the Empress. I counterattack, so gets rid of the Georgette. And then the Empress does AoE, breaks the Stoneskin, right? Does a lot of damage. Here I'm locked out. I have to A1. Reflect damage kills myself, right? And this is where my Calvalax comes in. I do have 10k attack on Calvalax. If he lands like a hit, a crit is huge. Didn't land a crit, but still did 14k damage. Just from like 10k attack Calvalax, right? I'm here trying to A1 and hoping that I'm so fast that I can go again. I do. And there is not a good time to revive, right? You're just trolling if you revive right there. So I go for the A1 again to try to sleep him. And hoping for no wand there. And then another A1. Look, 33k off of Calvalax A1. Because he has so high attack for the poisons, his A1 actually does a lot of damage. Yeah, so I think that's a very lucky win. I should not have won that match. Over here, looks like speed team, and the reason I say that is a lot of intermittent presence. That's your clue that they want to go fast and they want to go first. And I think we talked about the bug, so I have to ban the 6-star temporal chains. I don't have any choice, and I don't see this champion often. He was a fusion, one of the few champions that can go through Stoneskin. Georgette, Ailil, He-Man, and him, I think. Very, very limited roster. But this champion doesn't hit hard enough. Like, at least that's been my experience with this champion. And I have him in the vault, right? Like, I don't use this champion. So here, my Calvalax took out his Arbiter. So I was able to go with my Sifi. I buff. Now I have a ton of buffs on my Ailil, which gets turn meter boost, and I go before the Hilvi, right? One shot the Hilvi, and now I'm in a really good position. The Empress decides to go for the strip of Stoneskin. Didn't get some of them because of Lightning Cage. And now I'm doing triple hit, right? Triple hit, kill the Empress. The other champion, Granite, has the Stoneskin gone, but he's still full HP, and we are able to see his big nuke, right? I think the hardest hitting one is a single target nuke, and let's see the damage here. Goes for the Sifi. Just not enough. This champion just doesn't do enough, and opponent leaves, right? He knows it's over. Against this team, I have two big counters that I must ban against this team. 6-star temporal chains, we discussed that. I must ban that, and it's on a Fabian. Super annoying, right? Against my champion. And also a 6-star lethal, the poison Nell blessing. I must ban the Nell too. So I can't have two bans. So I'm hard countered in this match. It's not looking good. Nell does everything Nell does, counters my team. I put up a lot of buffs. He even bans the Necrit, so I don't get to go first. Right, I was hoping he would ban like the CV. No, he wouldn't. He would never ban a CV. I was hoping he would ban like a Chicken or Marius, but he didn't. So now I had to face a Nell, and I don't get to go first, right? So I don't get to one-shot him. He goes first with our bias, does a turn meter boost, and then the Galathier goes. The Galathier did what? Transform and try to strip. Okay, risky, but yeah, this is why it's risky. It's a very, very risky maneuver to open with transform and strip. Like, you could lose a whole match off of this move alone, because he hit a 6-star polymorph and turned into a sheep, right? So now it's looking good for me, but the Arbai is already boosted. I don't know how close is the Nell from going. I can't tell if my Aileo is going before the Nell. And I'm thinking, if I do this move, both my CV and Aileo are going to be dead, because they don't have Stone Skin, and the Nell is going to put up a lot of poisons on them. But if the Nell goes, and I have Lightning Cage, and I have 50-50 on the Marius, if I can win the 50-50, I think I won the match, right? The Nell is going to do the Poison Explosion and the Steel Buffs move. Yeah, if I win the 50-50, I've won the match. And if I don't, I just lose right here, right? I want the control of the match to be in my own hands instead of the opponent's, so I went for the boost. I think right here I was going, the Nell is going to destroy me, but I don't want to do nothing, so I went for the boost. I actually proc my Polymorph again, but I think the Nell had... did Nell have like a pinpoint? Yeah, 1-stack pinpoint, right? Right here. You can see the 1-stack pinpoint. I do the move, so she's supposed to turn into a sheep, but this is why a lot of Nells built with pinpoint. Protected herself, right? So now Nell does the Poison Explosion and steals my Marius's Stone Skin. At this point, I think I know it's over, right? There's not much to do. Even block revives, doesn't matter. Here, I go for the this move. If I transform, is it any good? I don't think it is, because right now the chicken has that protected block debuffs, and I don't want that be gone. And also, this move gives me the unkillable, right? And also, the Nice is not in the second form, didn't put up the protected block damage yet, so why would my chicken go to the second form? So I stayed in the first form. A lot of counterattacks, and if we can speed this up, I think I just slowly get control to death, because chicken's form 1 is not immune to CC. It's not, and also he's got like these champions that manipulates turn meter, with the Nell, with the Galathier, with the Arbias. So I think I just get controlled to death here. I never get to take my turn. Yeah, decrease turn meter, and then the Nell actually came back with the Poison Explosion skill again and took me out. Against this match, I banned his fastest champion because I want to go first. And he banned the Necrate, right? Which generally is bad for me, but because I banned his fastest champion, if my CV is faster, my Fabian's faster, is great for me. So I go for the lockout. Only one resisted is the Galathier. Great. And then I go for the kill. And Galathier does what? Revive. That's a mistake. Reason is I have 2 nukers. Both the nukers have area effect, so the veil, a perfect veil, does nothing, right? I can just use AoE. My Empress is like looking like 100% turn meter. Didn't get a chance to go yet, so I do have my AoE. He still has Stone Skin. So yeah, absolutely, I think was the wrong move, because now you don't have the revive, and I can just one-shot your team, right? So like, look here. I'm checking for polymorph. There's none. So I do this. I turn. Counterattack does nothing. I AoE. Now the Galathier has no revive, right? No revive, and is 1v4. Like, he just lost because he used the revive skill there. I didn't recognize I have 2 nukers, both have AoE skill. Be patient with the Galathier revive. You didn't have to do it right there. Yeah. And it was on Odin, like not the biggest of deals, right? My old nemesis, Armand's and Fabian. My new strategy is just to bring in like Noel, who somewhat counters Fabian, and high resistance build, right? This is my new strategy. I banned his only new reviver because that's the only champion that has the ability to revive. So if I do take out any of his champions, it's permanently dead. And then we just play the long battle, right? I think eventually Noel will be able to save my team because high resistance build. And looking at it, no stone skin. We're so confident on going first. And you run into the combo that is Necri ILO. AoE, right? It's game over. So that was easy. It doesn't happen often to me. Against Fabian Armands too, I was prepared to go like really long battles, and yeah, so very happy about that. Don't have to go for such long. I don't ban the Shujin here because I picked Calvalax, and for some reason I think he might leave the Calvalax alone because he has 3 nukers, and it's very likely all 3 of the nukers are in Stone Skin, so he might just sacrifice the Shujin and not ban the Calvalax, or think that I might ban the Shujin, but I'm not gonna. So okay, he banned the Calvalax, so he doesn't want to sacrifice the Shujin, which is, you know, your Shujin is not going to outspeed a Necri ILO, and I just one-shot the Shujin, right? So yeah, not the best decision. Not the best decision. Over here, they're locked out, so the only threat right now is the Gizmak. Gizmak transforms. Does the big nuke, gets the extra turn. Does that skill, right? This is why we save the ILO A1. We steal all his stuff. The taunt, the unkillable. It's a good time. Now I do my Embrace things and block revive, and it's just this locked out Carnage, right? He has to transform, and because of turn order, my Embrace is first in position. Even if he did so much damage, he killed my Embrace, reflect damage is going to kill him, right? So I already won this match. So he's gonna nuke, didn't even do damage. Yeah, so that one is done. Here against this team, again, I think I mentioned before, Odin is a pain in the butt for Embrace to deal with. I do not want a Sulfurion to burn my Stone Skin, I think. But I also really hate Fabian, right? Especially if it's like supersonic and I'm running Sifi. Really bad for me. So I go for the Fabian ban. That is a very fast Marishka. We're talking like 430 plus, right? Turn meter boost. HP burn, strips all the Stone Skin. This champion is busted good. Sulfurion. And crucially, he doesn't have the 6-star blessing. If he does, right now he's triggering my Marius counterattack, right? But he doesn't. So I boost, and here my Aleo gets to go. I'm looking. I hit a reaction. If it's a Stone Skin and lethal build, there's only 1 slot for reaction. So 25% chance. 25% chance. Over here, he transforms, we counterattack, AoE, right? And I think at this point, it is lost. He can do anything he likes. Even went with the thing and just AoE here. Yeah, so we lose this match. So Furion is very, very good if you're going first. Look, Necrit Ilil. Someone is taking my champion. I rarely see this, and I know the champion, right? I know the limitations. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to one-shot a target first. I bring in a triple reaction UDK, right, to stop that. And now my opponent, trying to be cute, bans what he thinks is the only damage dealer, which, you know, somewhat true, but my Odin is built with enough speed and damage. It's like crit capped. It has a lot of crit damage. I'm not too worried. And especially the Ilil is not going to do much here, right? He can't do the A2, so has to AoE. Does kill the Armans, but this is where Sifi comes in, right? Sifi has 100% revive with turn meter. So my Armans actually goes before all his champions. I go for the sheep. And then he's got a huge bolster on the Duchess, so I actually don't kill. Close. That skill should generally kill any he goes for the A2, eventually reaction, right? As triple reaction, 75% chance. And even if it did hit reaction, I think I would have been fine. UDK is very tanky. Go for the sleep here. Okay. Ooh, UDK even crits. Here I go for the stun, buff, do this, okay, and A1. Like, look at my A1 on Odin, 45k on the Duchess, right? The Odin actually has some sneaky good damage because of my build. It's a very hard champion to build. You need accuracy, you need crit rate, you need crit damage, you need speed. You need a lot of things for an Odin. So he's very hard to build. Here, I even crit with my Sifi, 22k. It's a crit damage Sifi, guys. So the Ilil here is just crippled, right? There's nothing Ilil can do. He used AoE, he used A2. You just have to A1 here, even get feared. Between Ilil and Necrit, I would recommend targeting the Necrit first, not the target he's protecting. So I targeted Necrit first. Didn't do a lot, but my revive is back up. Now he's never going to take a turn, right? Because I've got Armans. Heal, and we're just speeding this up. Like, it seems like a lot, but a sheep there is only a minute 40 into this match, right? Like, it's not like I'm not making any progress. This is not a glacial pace match by any means. 52k on a tank Necrit with Odin, right? He does damage. So here, he's never going to take a turn. We do the smack, 250k, right? 2 minutes, 12 seconds. Yeah, so we take down the Necrit Ilil that we're known for. Over here, no Stone Skin team. Yes, I go for the AoE, but here I'm against a Sigrun, and this move could bite me in the ass, because when I do this and Sigrun is in that Feral set, he actually will get his block damage. Like, it's not block debuff won't go on him because he has the Feral set, and now he has all his skills. Like, I didn't do the lockout yet, so he could target my low HP champion, which is the Fabian, and if it's well built enough, like, it could one shot my whole team, right? Like, through the Stone Skin. Sigrun does that much damage. He's just that insane. But I think crucially, both the Volcardia Heart and the Bolster Shield like, did enough to protect 73k shield, and he did 120k damage. So the splash is not that much. Actually didn't even break the Stone Skin of Empress. So that those big shields, 73k shield, really saved me there. On the submission. Here, I really want to keep the Marius alive, because if Sigrun is the last man standing, he's going to transform and revive everybody. and there will be like 2 turn block damage. It's a pain in the ass. So absolutely do not use A2 here. Why? Because if you use A2 here on the Empress, it's going to trigger a stack of Necrosis, and that stack could probably just kill the Marius, right? And if that happens, the Sigrun instantly transform, and it's just a bad time. So absolutely do not use the A2 on Marius here. I straight up transform, because A1 I can't use is AoE, A3 is AoE. I straight up transform and I do the A1 on the Sigrun, right? That's the only correct move. Here I go for the buff steal. His lightning cage protects. That's crucial block damage, but there's only 1 turn left, so not too worried. And then I ally attack the Sigrun. And yeah, that Necrosis would have killed the Marius, right? So it was the correct choice. And we take down that fight. Here, I'm against Commodus, and if I only bring, like, what do I say about Commodus? If we only bring 1 counter to Commodus, he's going to ban your 1 counter, which is the Marishka, and you are obligated to ban his Commodus. There's no other choice, because my other champions are in Stormcaller. So now this player is playing mind tricks, right? He's picking Commodus, but he also didn't ban my 1 counter to it. So kind of smart, but I also get a 6-star Marishka, right? Is it the best? We'll see. Like, did he outsmart me, or like did I actually get the draft that I wanted in the first place? Hard to say, right? So here I do have Marishka. He's going to go first. He does the boost. He's going to, for me, and I'm a greedy player, I would have done the Terminator steal, but I think just sheep, right? Sheep the Fabian. Great. And then now the lockout. And then the Sigrun is going to nuke me. Kills everybody. Oh, didn't kill the Marius for some reason. Killed everybody else. Counterattack. This is why Marius is great with counterattacks. You have to build Marius with damage. If we did just a tiny bit more, the Soul Reap would have triggered there, and the Sigrun is 1-shot. 100 to 0, no passive blocking, no block damage. Just a tiny bit short. Okay, so Marishka is dead. This is my final chance. It's gonna attack there. A1, right? A1 killed everybody, trigger his passive, but crucially he has true fear. So he's thinking, do I risk it? I absolutely would, right? For the revive, 50-50. He lost a 50-50. So really lucky for me. I do the HP swap. He's under block damage, so nothing I can do. Here I misplay, right? The correct play here is to do the lockout. Why? Because Sigrun is magic affinity and Fabian is spirit, right? So there, the A2 has a 35% chance to weak hit, whereas the A3 there's just a 3% unlucky resist, right? So I went with the A2, which is incorrect. If I get a weak hit, is bad, right? And I get resisted. It's not the weak hit I was concerned about. It was a resist, probably 3%. Oh my goodness. But he got another 50-50, so I get really lucky with the fears, and he left, right? This match, what do I have? Maria, I got Calvalax against a speed team. I'm looking at, you don't see that often. Epic Phanex, +4, right? Really scary, block revive against these champions that can come back to life. Very effective, and he's got an instant turn and ally attack, right? I'm looking at it, I'm going, my Fabian is already dead. either his Shujin goes or his Lady Mikage goes. And look, I see them Lady Mikage goes first, and I'm already hovering, right? You see my cursor. I'm like, just ally attack my Fabi. I know I'm 4 against 3, 3 against 4 this match. I know it. So just ally attack me. And look at what he does. He does the decrease buff. What are we doing? What are we doing? This is terrible play. Now my Fabian cuts in, locks everybody out, and they left, right? Like, take the obvious play that's obviously correct. Why are we trying to be fancy there with the decreased buff duration? Like, just ally attack the Fabian, block revive him, and go from there, right? You're 4 champions against 3 at that point, and I have no lockout and no fast champions. Like, yeah. Anyways, so yeah, a lot of players you see, they will first pick Marishka if they're gonna pick bomb or HP burn or poisons, just taking away their own counters, right? So now even if I wanted to pick Marishka, I can't because it's taken. So I have to ban the Commodus, and now he's got that combo of turtles, which I really want to get rid of, right? Usually I talked about this, when you see the turtle combo, ban the Donnie. That's the key target. That's the support of the duel. You ban the Donnie, right? But in this case, I don't have anything that can help me versus Commodus. Ancora could help me, but if he bans Ancora, I'm completely screwed. So I ban the Commodus, right? And we go into this match. He's got a lot of things to keep his champions alive. Galathier, Marishka, and Donnie. So I'm just hoping I hit the 50-50 on the wand for Leo, right? I go first. I do sheep him. And it's a good time now, because the rest of the champions, not very scary. Just there to keep Leo alive, right? But if we can control the Leo, we control the match. And I have 2 damage dealers, one of which can do block revive. Excellent versus this kind of team, right? Low accuracy Embrace, so you see all resistance there, expect it. Embrace is here to do damage. Do turn meter steal here. Of course, I get resisted. No polymorph, so I do the smack. It's okay. I decrease his turn meter because I got evil eye. Decrease turn meter again. Just push him back, right? Galathier heal is fair and balanced. Over here, I want to do another AoE, but it's 1 turn away, right? So when that happens, you can try to cycle using A3 first, get an extra turn, and then AoE. I think that's what I do here. Plus, you get extra ignore defense, right? So I do go for the AoE. Triggers Leo counterattack. Didn't do too much damage. And then my sheep comes back. Yeah, Leo's worst nightmare. And I do the stun here, and I'm realizing something. I think this player doesn't have Wand of Submission on Leo. Like, if you're picking Leo for like classic arena, platinum push, or like siege and stuff, and you don't put wand on him, I can understand. I actually myself don't run wand on Leo either. But if you're playing live arena, I think wand of submission on Leo, especially you're not running 4 turtle, you're running 2, like, it's mandatory. It's mandatory to run wand of submission on your Leonardo. He didn't, because I've done so many polymorphs and stuns. Every time he landed, right, no reflect back. So I think he just doesn't have it, and that's not acceptable. So you guys, you have to have wand of submission on your Leo if you're gonna use him in live arena. So there we get a rematch of this player, right? Last time I think this player really prioritized the Marishka, so we take that away, right? And worked well for us. Marius against Embrace, we like that. I took both Armands and Fabian again. fantastic versus the Leo. And this time I remember his Galathier is pretty fast. So I take out the Galathier. And I have Maria just as the insurance choice because he's got Odin. He probably will have block damage at some point, and Maria can go through that, right? We'll go into this match. I remember Leo doesn't have wand, so we sheep him. You got to remember these things. I do the boost because I already have 3 buffs on Maria, and now I can do the A3 combo into the... I really want Odin to be dead, and I don't want to waste my A2, so I think I just A1 here. If I don't get an extra turn, I'm perfectly okay with it. But yeah, Donnie, right? He's gonna save it. I do get an extra turn, great. I one-shot the Empress, and now I'm in a really, really good position, right? Here I even buff up first and then do the triple hit, and this is why we're on Soul Reap. Both of those champions would have survived if it were not for Soul Reap. So yeah, against the same player, we even took away his champions, and we remember that Leo doesn't have a wand. Control the Leo, right? Against this team, he's taking away the Commodus counters, that is Galathier and Marishka, and he's got a no. We are not enjoying the pick and ban for this match, right? It's not looking good. Let's see how it goes. So here, you almost always see Pinpoint and Stone Skin on Nell. Why is that? This is why. I look at the Nell, it's Feral and Stone Skin. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. And this is why. We sheep the Nell. Yeah, I don't think that's acceptable. No Pinpoint on Nell, no Mercurial. Here I kind of knew it. The Marius is gonna counterattack, but I'm hoping it doesn't do enough damage. But this Marius is very well built, right? It does do enough damage even with the revive and core revive. I really wanted the Empress to take a turn and maybe come back from this, but he even locked me out. Now I'm just fishing for extra turns. I'm enfeebled. I get 1 extra turn. I get 2 extra turns, and here I start to get cocky. I'm thinking, okay, the Marius is almost dead. I get 2 extra turns. I'm gonna do my big nuke. I'm gonna do the lockout. Why don't I just kill the Marishka, right? And then so I don't have to deal with her again. But I need to be more patient because he still has that 1 turn sheep, and that one is coming back, right? I need to take out the threat first and get rid of my block actives on my champions to control the fight. I get too cocky. I take out the Marishka, which I guess could be okay, but what happened here was I had the Life Drinker Mastery, and the Life Drinker actually healed me because I was below 50%, and it healed me for 4.8k, pushed me above 50%. Why is that important? Maria has 2 ways to protect herself, right? Like my Maria, 3 ways. I've got the bone plating. I've got the mythical relic, the no crit under 50%, and I got her passive, right? This is the second hit of her passive, so 66% damage reduction. This one, unfortunately, is the 99% damage reduction, right? The Galathier did 22 damage. So now I have no damage reduction on the passive. I'm relying solely on the bone plating, and there is no mythical relic because I'm actually just a sliver above 50% HP. Marius hits me 1 time here and 1-shot me. I was not expecting this. If the sheep didn't hit me, if the sheep hits the Ancora for some reason, or if the Galathier didn't A1 me, I would have had like 99% damage reduction, and this Marius hit would have done like 50 damage to my Maria, right? But no, I'm above 50% HP. The passive didn't work out as planned, and the Marius one-shot me. At this point, I lost, right? There's no coming back. I'm still locked out. And the Nell even comes back. So I should have been more patient, kill the Marius first, and then take out the rest of them one by one, right? And then, so that was a big mistake. This fight, I'm feeling confident because I took out his Ophiurian. I'm thinking I have Cavalax into Arbiter. The Arbiter is probably going to get one shot. And then I can control the rest of his champions, right? Like Nell actually is afraid of lockout. So I'm feeling pretty confident. But what I fail to realize is usually when you're bringing Cavalax in and you're the attacker side, in Live Arena there's an attacker side and defender side. The attacker side is the one that got the first pick, and the defender side is their first round is 2 picks, right? So I'm the attacker side, which means my stuff gets applied first. And when I say stuff, I mean all the passive from the champions, including Cavalax passive, which applies poisons on everybody before the match even begins. In this match, he's got Stone Skin here, Stone Skin here, Stone Skin here. So usually when you have Stone Skin, poisons can't go on them. But because I'm the attacker side, all my poisons go on their champions first, and then he gets to do his passive, and then he puts the Stone Skin up and removes all the poisons. That's how the game is coded, right? So I put all the poisons up, and look at what happens to everyone is at 0 turn meter at this point. Look at what happens to the Teox. And I know this interaction as well because I have this champion and I have Cavalax. I do the combo, like, but you don't see Teox very often in Arena these days. He does a lot of damage, but he doesn't offer utility much, and he doesn't have built-in survivability. So this is why you don't see this champion a lot, and I completely forgotten, right? Last match of the day, so he got so much turn meter. If we can do a comparison here, let me just slow it down a little bit. Turn meter boost times 16. Yeah, so I did all the poisons on their champions first, and then their Stone Skin gets applied. So Teox gains turn meter based on any debuffs, even on enemy or his own team. He's gonna gain turn meter. Because I'm an attacker side, my Cavalax puts the poison on his teams first. Even though he has Stone Skin, now the Stone Skin is going to cleanse all the poisons. So he gets none of the drawbacks, but gets all the benefit. Now his Teox is taking his first turn because he got turn meter boost times 16. Look at my 400 speed Fabian. It's like here. And his Teox is 100%. So his Teox is going at what? 1,600 speed effectively, give or take. Insane, right? I completely forgot about this interaction, and you can't make that kind of mistake in Live Arena because knowledge is power, and you just gotta know these things. So his Teox is gonna go, and because my champions are all like supersonic and super fast, I'm gonna get wrecked here, right? So he even will be able to, yeah, he does extra turn. Why not? You could do it. Gets extra turn and then brings in another champion, which kills the, I would have hit here. I would have done the, no, I would have done the AoE. Why weren't we not doing the AoE? Because if you kill the Cavalax before your other champion takes the turn, the poison does normal damage. His relic, the elixir, and his attack doesn't boost the poison damage anymore. So this will like barely tickle the Arbiter, when normally these 4 stacks of poison will one-shot the Arbiter, right? So yeah, like barely broke the Arbiter's shield. This should have one-shot the Arbiter if Cavalax is alive. So very important, if you have the opportunity to take out the Cavalax, take out the Cavalax, right? So Arbiter goes, I'm 1 champion against 4, it's over, right? Even wins the 50-50, strip my Stone Skin, completely lost. So yeah, sometimes like you just forget, right, the interactions and how things are done. And I think yeah, that's it. That's all the matches. Again, Marius, one of the best champions in the whole game. Try to see if you can build Marius. If you're lucky, get and you got the Stormcaller relic. I mean, eventually with Chimera, everyone should get this, right? It just take a long time. Some of the top players I know are getting 25 mythical materials from Chimera per week. So every month they have a chance to craft this, right? Every month they get 100 mythical relics. So the top players, eventually all their Mariuses are going to be running this, which is the best, I believe, the best build for Marius. And yeah, so eventually everyone's gonna have the super overpowered Marius with this relic, and it's gonna be a pain in the ass because irresistible stun, right? So and with all those wand of submission running in the arena, I would highly recommend running Marius along with a block debuffs champion. I run Sifi, but like any block debuffs champion, or else when you're doing the Stormcaller on the enemies, you're gonna get yourself stunned a lot, right? I did notice that. So yeah, that's all I have to say about Marius. Thank you for watching, and yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, thanks. Bye now.